And that is a giant wall of frogs. There's Benji. Here's Benji! Woof! But this video is not about the giant wall of frogs. One day I'll do a video about the giant wall of frogs. If you want a video, just comment down below. I have empty tanks in my fish room. Why do I have empty tanks in my fish room? Because I'm not happy with the whole middle part of this. I've actually dismantled a few bits and pieces. Obviously emptied these 4-footers, those 4-footers that were on the system. There are tons of American cichlids ready to breed and pairs of everything in these big 1,000-litre tubs. It's a pain. I can't see what's in there. Fish are breeding, fish are going through the overflows. Don't even ask what is living in there at the moment. Yeah, I think the problem is, and a lot of people have this problem with their fish rooms, everything breeds and then you have to put the fry somewhere. And it gets to the point where it is ridiculous. Like, I think my overflowing again because there's too many fish. Look at those. Yeah, so it gets to the point where you kind of have to stop saving fry or have bigger systems and more tanks and more tanks and more tanks. And it gets a bit ridiculous. There's only 24 hours in a day, Benji. Woof! He's ignoring me. Oh, he's a woofy woof. So yeah, it gets to the point where you're so busy doing all this stuff that you forget that that pair of fish are breeding, and so on and so on. So I think we're going to have a little bit of a break. We're going to dismantle a few tanks. A few fish are going to stop breeding because I'm going to separate males and females for a bit. If I had all the time in the world, I would just have a giant area with hundreds of tanks and spend all my time doing that. But unfortunately, I don't have all the time in the world. So I think what we're going to do in this video is we're going to get rid of all these tubs from the middle, repurpose them somewhere else. These fish can go into my other systems and generally just open up this space a little bit because it's getting to the point where it is a little bit too hectic. We're going to move all that stuff and come back. And it has been a week. I haven't really done anything. I've moved some stuff, but all this stuff is still here. I have a better idea of what I'm doing with this middle bit. Obviously, I've got rid of the tubs, so no more tubs. I have all my Malawi cichlids down the bottom there, which, nightmare. And the reason it's a nightmare is because I never notice if they've got eggs or whatever inside their mouths. Those tanks are bigger than they look. That tank is bigger than it looks. I think these are 3 foot by 4 foot. To give you an idea, that's 9 foot by 4 foot. That's like a 3 foot fish. I know, he does need a bigger tank, and we're gonna work on a bigger tank, aren't we? But he is over 20 years old now, my catfish. Males don't get as big as the females, and everyone's sort of going on, oh, he should be 5 foot, 6 foot. No, I have a smaller redtail cat that's probably the same size as that redtail cat. If we go over the mess, here's the bumblebee groper, and she, I'm not entirely sure if it's a he or a she, is maybe about 80 centimeters now, to give you an idea. This tank is bigger than it looks as well. I think that is, what is that? That's 6 foot by 3 foot by nearly 3 foot. Same as that tank, which is 6 foot by a little bit smaller than 3 foot by nearly 3 foot. Yeah, the tanks are bigger than they look. Well, there is my blue hand compared to the fish. Yeah, he's a big fish. I do want to put him in a bigger pool, and I am not going to go back to having a big pool in the middle. A couple of years ago, I had a huge pool in the middle with a whole lot of these guys, and these are all American, South American fish, a few Central Americans, some giant gouramis, stuff like that. Yeah, all making a big mess. They're now in another 9 foot tank. I do need to perhaps move all this stuff. And this was just to breed tetras and, oh, there's some cool catfish there, some hoplo cats. The hoplo cats, all these guys, a couple of random mingy discus, which are too mingy to sell in the shop. Yes, I know. Every fish that is no good for the shop ends up coming home eventually. So I get all these things. I don't have any of these fish available for sale at the moment, so if you see cool stuff and you do want them, you can always ask. I may have some, but this is all private stuff in my tanks. Cool Corydorus, etc., etc. Yeah, but anyway, I'm thinking now I may move these tanks, which were just for breeding tetras and rasbora and barbs. There are the longfin cherry barbs, going well. I need to move them into the shop soon. They're almost sized to do that. But this is sort of a little bit too narrow. And I sort of want more room so I can maybe put a couch there, sit back, chill, watch the tanks, do all that sort of stuff. So I think a few of these are going to be moved around a little bit, but now that there is nothing really in the middle, I can sort of see these a lot better. I need to get rid of all these smaller fish out of these tanks because it's just a nightmare. They're going through, and I'm not sponsored by Dimax, going through a whole tub of that, which is just a Dimax tropical flake food. Oh, in less than a week. It's ridiculous. So yeah, now that they've gone from the brine shrimp eggs to that stuff, it's gone a little bit hectic. And that's only just these 5 or 6 tanks with fry in them. There's the dovies, the wolf cichlids, they are getting a lot bigger. Yeah, this system was not designed for growing all these fry up. It was just for the L numbers, which are now moved into that system, and there's a few still up the top. So yeah, they really need to be in bigger tanks. And that comes to these 4-foot tanks. I'm pretty sure I'm going to move these 4-foot tanks into my snake room because it's nice and warm in there. And then I'm going to move all the Malawi cichlids down the bottom into those tanks so I can split them up, breed them, have fun with those because I haven't bred Malawi cichlids for like years really. I've had a few spawns here and there but haven't really concentrated on them. So they're going to go into the 4-foot tanks, and I think there's 6 4-foot tanks, and I've got another couple around the other side I can stack in there. So I'll have them all on a nice system in hard alkaline water. Then that would free up all these 4 by 3-foot tanks, which I still have not got on a system. It's only been a year since I set those up. I know, I need more time. I need to sort of maybe work less and do this more. Yeah, I don't know. Time management is a wonderful thing, isn't it? But we are going to hopefully move all these smaller fish into these bigger tanks and have this pumping into a system and then pumping back. So I've got more water volume for them. Then I can grow them up to a decent size and sell them because yeah, most of our wholesalers and fish in the shop are like 4 or 5 centimeters. But if we can get them like 10 centimeter fish, they're going to look impulsive. Impulsive. What is that? Yeah, there's a word, impulsive. They're going to look a lot more better. It is early morning, leave me alone. Impulsive. Yeah, so, oh, and there's our white lip blue, whatever they are. I can't remember what they are. I should know what they are. But yeah, that is the plan, I think, now. And then I can get all these tanks back for just breeding some cool fish. Oh, but the redtail cat that I was going to tell you about, and I've moved more stuff over here, in this tub, which is a silly amount of water. If we look right over there, that is another redtail catfish, and that one is probably close on the same size as the redtail cat you saw, which is that one. They do not get along, so they're not going together. But that guy is probably a girl because same sort of size already, but a lot bigger. If you know how to tell boys and girls, that would be wonderful. But I'm 99% sure that this is a boy, going by the size of him and the fact he's 20 years old, and that one I've only had for a couple of years. But that is where we are with our fish room. Had a few cool fish spawn, hence the spawning mop, but didn't take it out in time. That is our wild Oscar. Can't even see him in this tank. He's a very, very cool fish. Gold dust chat Vegas. A few cool cichlids that I do want to breed, just haven't bred them. But yeah, that is where we are. I think the next video is going to be what I've done in the middle here, or haven't done in the middle. I do kind of want to move that tank, but that tank is way too big to move. So I might move the groper and then move, yeah, something. I'm not too sure. Anyway, a quick update on what has happened in my fish room, which is pretty much me getting cranky with all the stuff in the middle and rushing to feed stuff and not being able to see stuff in there. Yeah, that's pretty much what's happened. so many baby fish in there. If you want to know what's in those tanks, just look at the older videos from the last month or two, and you'll see all the bits and pieces in there. Yeah, we'll do another update maybe in a week or so once I've got rid of all this stuff. And maybe we'll do a cool setup video on the African cichlids, because there are some very cool rostratus that I've been growing up for about a year or so. All these fish have been growing up since tiny little babies, and they're spawning size now. Albino blue dolphins. What have we got? Boring electric yellows. White lip something. I keep wanting to say medaka, but no, they're not medakas. Starts with M. Whatever it is. I might put it on the screen. I probably won't. Yeah, need to deal with them because they're getting too big for those tanks. And lots of algae in them. Yay. Anyway. Oh, there's some cool L numbers. Oh, look. He has caught her in the cave. Yeah, we don't really want you to breed right now. I know. Not wanting fish to breed in a fish room. Something's not right. Anyway, we will see you in the next video. Quick update. Look at the mess. I'm going to work now. See ya.